Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of voice of radio. So today, we need to have a little bit of a look at Lucario VSTAR. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, there's something kind of worrying happening. So I told you the other day about some delays that might be happening with Pokemon TCG products. I told you about the Morpeko V Union Special Collection, which is currently delayed, hopefully by only a couple of weeks. And I told you about the EV Tins, which are also seeing the same delay. And I told you that for the EV Tins, this didn't really matter, because they are just reprints of the ones from Evolving Skies. But for the Morpeko, it actually really did matter, because that's a mechanically exclusive card that can only be gotten in this set, and that's a little bit of a worry. And at the time, I told you it didn't look like that's happening with Lucario VSTAR, but unfortunately, what's happening with Lucario VSTAR might actually be a little bit worse. Because I've been chatting to a couple of friends who run online stores, etc., friends who are in contact with distributors, and they've sent me big lists of products, everything that's coming out with the dates, and it all seems about right. The one thing that seems about wrong is that Lucario VSTAR Premium Collection is currently listed without a date. Everything else is listed with a date, except for this. Now, the V Hero Tin's listed with March 22, and we all know that's gone and been delayed. And the Morpeko is listed with Q2 2022, and again, we know that's been delayed. It's not a good sign that either of those were listed with unspecific dates, and have now ended up being delayed. But now we see that Lucario is missing a date. And this is a little bit worrying. Because I showed you the other day the legality dates for promos. Pokemon do this wonderful thing on their website. And seriously, whoever's in charge and does this deserves a huge round of applause. This is wonderful. They have a page which is kept updated with the legality date of upcoming promo cards. So nobody ever needs to worry about when particular cards are or are not legal, other than Hidden Fates. We still have not figured out when Hidden Fates is going to be legal. When it comes to promo cards, all you need to do is go to that website and it literally lists the dates. And if we look at both Lucario V and Lucario VSTAR, we see that they are legal on the 22nd of April, which is an extremely important date. A very important date, because that date just so happens to be day one of the European International Championships. The first international championships in a couple of years for Pokemon, the biggest, most prestigious tournament we've had since the whole damn Panic thing kicked off. This tournament is a very big deal. And as it stands at the moment, Lucario V and Lucario VSTAR are officially legal for that tournament. They become legal on Friday the 22nd of April, and that tournament kicks off on Friday the 22nd of April. Which leads to a really important question of, where is it? Like, seriously, where is it? Now, obviously, the listings I'm seeing are in the UK. It may well be that in the US, the listings are currently unaffected, and this is expected to launch on the right day. This is going to be launching on the 8th of April, and that's all good. But actually, that's even worse. If some players have access to these cards and other players don't, then that really gives us an inequality, which is not a good thing. And here's the problem. Right now, Lucario VSTAR, I cannot sit here and tell you it's going to be a phenomenal card. I don't know is the honest answer. And nobody really knows until we get a whole bunch of tournament results. What I can tell you is, it is at least, at the very least, a card which is interesting, and a card which has potential, and a card which I know for a fact a lot of very good players are testing. I mean, if we go and look at the top 16 from Liverpool Regionals, this graphic comes from PokeStats TCG on Twitter, and seriously, right, if you're at least a tiny bit interested in the competitive Pokemon trading card game, and you're not following them on Twitter, you need to rectify that. But we could take a look at Arceus decks. 4th place, Alessandro Frendra, Arceus Inteleon. 7th place, Crystal Atlantis, Amanatitis, I'm sorry for the pronunciation, with Arceus with the birds. Pharaoh got 11th place with Arceus Inteleon. Connor Morgan got 14th place with Arceus Shadow Rider Calyrex. And Stephen Mao got 15th place with Arceus with Moltres. And the thing is that Arceus VSTAR is weak to fighting. So what that tells us is that actually we might want some good fighting types around right now, because we've got some really good cards that are seeing a whole bunch of play that just so happen to be weak to fighting. We also see, now it's not really shown on this graphic so well, which is honestly a little bit sad, but we know that Gengar is a very, very good deck. We see, if we go and look at the top 32, we see that the lovely Carl Blake went and got 27th place with Gengar, and it had a much bigger showing at Salt Lake City the previous weekend. I mean, if I show you the top 16 from there nice and quickly, we see that Gengar won the whole thing. Gengar Arceus played by Andrew Kennett. And then we got Zachary Cooper playing just Gengar, and Gabriel Smart in 6th playing Gengar, and Calvin Connor in 13th playing Gengar. And basically what we've got here are two prominent archetypes that are weak to fighting. Gengar, of course, also weak to fighting, being a poison-type Pokemon in the game, comes through in the TCG as a darkness-type weak to fighting, rather than weak to grass like regular fighting types. And what this means is that right now, an awful lot of players really want a good fighting type. This could be it. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it definitely is, but I am going to sit here and tell you that it's the only V-Star that we've seen so far that's fighting type. We've got VMAX's Sandaconda is currently seeing a bunch of play in a bunch of decks. People are trying out Sandaconda, again, for this exact reason. And remember that all of these Pokemon can actually be played with Arceus as energy acceleration. Kind of interestingly. So even though they're countering Arceus, they tend to be played with Arceus because the energy acceleration from Arceus V-Star is just too gosh darn good. So we see Sandaconda seeing a bunch of play, but as a VMAX that gives up free prizes. And actually, I'm sorry, but if we put Sandaconda side by side with Lucario VSTAR, sure, it's got 50 more HP, but it gives up an extra prize. And for free energy, Sandaconda does 180 and moves energy, and Lucario does 240. Plus, Lucario's got that really nice V-Star power for 2 energy, does 70 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. And, you know, if your opponent attaches 4 energy, and you attach a Choice Belt, then all of a sudden you're doing 310 damage. And that's incredibly relevant because, I mean, you're going to be playing Choice Belt, right? Choice Belt is just great. And oh, would you believe it, Mew has 310 HP. Only kidding, it's got a resistance to fighting. And this is actually one of the biggest downsides of Lucario, is that it is weak to Mew, and Mew is obviously crazy good at the moment. And even with a Choice Belt, unfortunately, you know, you'll get him with 5 energy, but 4 energy is something Mew often have on the board. And that the numbers would work so perfectly. Because of the resistance, you will need a 5th energy, and that can get kind of awkward. Good news is, with a 5th energy, you actually don't need Choice Belt. Even with the resistance, you'll still be hitting 320 time you get the resistance off, and that will be enough. But the point is, this V-Star power is good against a whole bunch of different things, and you're hitting weakness. You know, you're running through Pokemon V, but then you've got stuff like Gengar and Arceus that are a stage above Pokemon V, but because of the weakness, you'll be getting them. And I'm not sitting here telling you that Arceus and Lucario V-Star together are going to be the top deck and win the European Internationals. I'm not telling you that. What I'm telling you is that there is a chance that Lucario V-Star is a legitimate deck, a legitimate contender, something that's going to see a whole bunch of play over at the EUIC. It is only available in this box, and as it stands at the moment, especially in the UK, we don't know when this is releasing. And this could be a little bit of a problem, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. This could be a little bit of a problem. And actually, with that, I do need to just jump in quickly and tell you guys that actually, we have a little bit of an update just on the end of the video here. You see, Asmodee have sent out some messages just today or yesterday, very, very recently, where they have said, we will only be receiving a small fraction of the stock required to supply your pre-orders of this product in time for the official release date of the 22nd of April. Which incidentally is not the official release date. The release date is the 8th of April. The legality date is the 22nd of April. There will be heavy allocation on this line at release. You should expect to receive no more than a couple of units of this line in time for the 22nd, with significantly more stock following shortly thereafter. Bearing in mind the official release date should have been the 8th, and the 22nd is when it's legal for tournament play. Which means that people in the UK, Europe, etc., they are not going to have access to this Lucario, and as I've explained in this video, there is a chance this Lucario could be legit, and that is going to give people in some region a pretty big advantage. So sorry to just jump in this update on the end, sounding slightly out of order, but this seemed pretty important. Just to confirm, we have a delayed release until the 22nd, and even then it's going to be heavily allocated. As far as I can see, Lucario is still legal for the EUIC, but some people are not going to have access to it. Also, right, anyone that actually wants to play Lucario as more than like a 1-1 tech or a 2-2 tech, yeah. Good luck with that, because remember, you get 1V and 1 V-star per box. So if you want to play a free line, you need 3 boxes. If you want to play a 4 free line, you need 4 boxes. So, yeah. Have fun opening some Lucario boxes. I've got one of these on pre-order. If it does drop on April the 8th, I will be here. I will be ready. But I do think it is absolutely worth pointing out that we currently don't have a release date listed. And I really, really hope that I sit here in a couple of weeks and go, oh, or even in fact in 1 week. And I look and I go, yeah. Turns out that video was worrying about nothing. That's the ideal situation here. But the fact of the matter is, we don't know. And that is slightly worrying. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know if you're worried. I want to know how good you think Lucario is. I want to know anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.